Concerned West Australians standing against the tyranny rolled out by this oppressive West Australian Parliament that has forced people to lose their jobs, their careers, their houses and their health, mental and physical. We would like to, would have been nice to have a cake for the anniversary, but as they've taken the attitude of let them eat cake, throw the rules, cast the rules upon them and let them spend several hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to fight it, it would be incongruent of us to be eating cake and celebrating today on the demise of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of West Australians. Tens, if not hundreds of thousands, and here come the puppets. As I said a couple of weeks ago, whatever you thought of our former governor, he allowed us to have our voice, as is our democratic right. We've got the democratic right to stand peacefully, to hold political speeches, whether the government or other parties agree with us or not. And as I said, whatever about our former governor, he didn't roll out the henchmen like the current instalment, living in this empty vessel of a property that was once a check and balance against a rogue government put in place by the Crown. That is the purpose of this building and the person in it and the role they are playing. And here we are today. Our Premier, Little Emperor Nero, has installed his bidder as payment for rolling out harm on vast numbers of West Australians, even those who don't realise it yet. And trust me, every week, more and more people are realising they've been duped. Police included. So I personally would like to honour everybody who has stood in the past 12 months and beyond. Actually, some people stood before I did. I came here after going up to Parliament House on the 1st of December and laying one of my shirts on the steps from my career, which is pretty much appears to be in tatters, and I'm being fought and being pushed out of the job, in my opinion. No doubt, it's all right, as retribution for daring to put my head above the trench. And you know what? If you wound the clock back, I would do it all again. 1st of December, raise your hand if you were there, Parliament House, seeing those shirts laid on those steps from all across industry and government in Western Australia. A signal of the tyranny rolled out by Little Emperor Nero, sitting up on the hill while Perth burns below him. Did he have the gall to come out, or the gumption to come out and talk to the people? No. I've been up there in a protest, well, a push for wages and conditions in my job several years before with a Liberal government, and that Premier came out and spoke to us. Did we get everything we asked for? No. But that man had the balls to come out and speak to his people. He was a leader. not a dictator. As has been beautifully captured by some of our independent media, and I'd like to give them a round of applause if you don't mind. Because there sure as hell is no way that the mainstream media is going to push anything out there unless it's going to serve them, and in some way they think they're protecting their position at the end of the day. That is the only joy you're going to get out of the mainstream. Because as we all are well aware now, they are controlled. They are part of the problem, as is our legal profession. And whilst most of my life I've been very pro-police, I have seen another side. I'm not saying from all police, but there are elements that are doing the bidding of their former boss.
Still is their boss, still runs it from this
Their
house.
former boss, who's now running it from this house. Good point.
Using the money on his police when he already has his own private guards. He still uses the police as forces, so he's taking from both. That's why we're in the state we're in. They're all takers. They don't give to the people, they take. And they'll take everything you have. Sorry, Lee.
No, keep going. That's awesome. I put one small post over a week ago that December 3 is an important day. I didn't say why. And what happened? The reaction from the government is to have the police stormtroopers down here all week arresting people for rubbing their umbrella handle on a wall. Inadvertently. That's tyranny. That is tyranny. And that is why I know all of you and the ones who can't be here today that have been over the time, over the duration, that is why we have stood. We see it. We're not safe in this state, this city, or this country until this tyranny is gone. Take a look at Melbourne. You've got a premier using his police to fire upon innocent, peaceful demonstrations, families, with rubber bullets, and he gets reinstalled. Notice the terminology I used. Morning. We're standing here for you, folks. We're standing here for all West Australians, all Australians, and the people around the world, including the ones who still attack us and deride us online when we share information. And some of the information that gets shared on both sides of the argument, it's a fair call to say some of it turns out not to be so true. But that runs both ways. So do share. Do keep standing proud. Check things out before you do as much as you can. And keep up the fight. What I'm most proud of with you people here, and the ones who've been here all year, is that when tyranny came, you didn't bow. You did something. You did what you could. We've seen how the political angle is manipulated. What can we do? We can stand in our power as individuals to say, this is wrong. Stand in front of the now empty House of checks and balance against a rogue parliament that our tyrant has installed his bidder into. I expect nothing from this man. nothing but increased police patrols and pressure on people standing peacefully, as is their democratic right. Go and check the Attorney General of Australia's website. We are complying with our rights as Australian citizens.
Individual guys. If we stand as a group, they'll move us. Individuals. We're individuals who stand.
You're individuals standing in your own power. So the fight has continued in a multitude of ways, and it needs to keep rolling. It needs to keep rolling until this stuff changes. So again, I say thank you. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for coming during the year. Thank you for standing against the man when you know things are crook in Tallarook. Not a hell of a lot has changed at this point. I think it's time we ask the Governor to do his job.
Yeah.
Good morning, security. Good morning, Governor Dawson. My name's Lee, and myself, along with many other individuals, concerned West Australians, have been standing at Governor's residence for over 12 months now, asking our Governor to do their job. I'll remind you that the Governor's position was created by the Crown as a check and balance against a rogue government. And I think most people could argue that a government that has rolled out legislation that has caused physical, economic and psychological harm to hundreds of thousands of West Australians and continues to do so to this day can certainly fall under that umbrella. Pardon the pun. So I instruct you, Governor Dawson, do your job as the people's representative to the Crown. Dissolve the current West Australian Parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election today. Thank you.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Lee. Well done.
Michael visited us a few months ago with Wendy and Cret, and we went and got some badges made up for you for the umbrella people.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Cool.
So thanks to Meg for organising that.
Oh, great.
Can you pass those ones on?
I will. Oh, that's great.
Another activist in the fight against tyranny around Australia.
I've been selling you people all around Australia. I actually think you're amazing. And
We are.
And I know your numbers are down, but I was just talking over there. Everywhere the numbers are down. And I think people are well, going back to work, like you said, going back to work. Other people...
Some people need a break.
need a break. Still
have to deal with stuff in their life.
disillusioned, dealing with even with PTSD because of the well, having the police shooting rubber bullets at you, sort of.
Will have that effect.
Yeah, it has an effect on your soul.
Where did you get hit?
In my hand, but I saw other people when I was at the shrine. There was one young man there. He was about younger than anyone here. He was 20 years old. And he was there because he'd seen the old woman get pushed over and pepper sprayed before. And he was there to protect old women, not to fight for freedom, just to protect old women from the police. And while they were coming in, he actually cleaned up all the area before, cleaned it up, put it in a plastic bag, and then put it on the side because he wanted to treat the shrine with reverence. Because his grandfather was on the shrine, his grandfather's name. And then he sat down in front of me on the steps, and a few minutes later they came in and they beat his head in. And we interviewed him a few days later, and he was in shock. He couldn't understand what happened to his country. He didn't know where he was. And you could see that his heart was broken deeply. And it's probably still broken to today. You know? And this is what we're fighting for. And the only way to be an individual, you've got to have freedom of speech, freedom of choice, which allows you the freedom to be yourself. And that's what makes Australia beautiful. You can't groupthink. That's communism. reason people risk their lives and their children's lives to get here is so they and their children can be themselves, not being this group thinking stuff, you know. That's communism. That's what we got to fight for. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm fighting. And so to come down and see here, you bunch of characters, I love it. You are the Australian spirit. You are the light in the darkness. You know. I wish you well. I really do. I don't want to do false hope, but I wish you well. I do think we're on the precipice where if we don't adapt to the situation we're facing, we could be dodos. We could go into the darkness. We've got to face the fact that it's real. And I think if we can adapt and I think it's in us to do that. I think we've got the passion and the strength, because I go to supermarkets and I feel like I'm in zombie lobotomy land.
You are.
They're just walking around like this, and then I meet you people and you're vibrant. And I think, well, I'd rather die with you guys on my feet than fucking live on my knees there.
That's right.
So yeah, so we're on the right side. We're just a long way from home, but I feel we can make it if we keep innovating and use our natural talents to win. Good luck. God bless.
You too.